You know that absolutely incredible feeling when you finally crack six figures? You're waiting for your whole life to change, for the stress to just, magically melt away. You think to yourself, I've made it. But then, well, nothing actually changes. Today, we're unpacking the source material from financial psychology expert Nick in this explainer, and we're breaking down exactly why that major income milestone feels completely broken right now.
It really begs the question, why is $100,000 the most psychologically dangerous salary in America today? It's definitely not because it's bad money, but it is perilous because it provides just enough cash to make you feel wealthy, while systematically preventing you from actually building wealth. It's a fascinating and frankly super frustrating paradox.
Okay, let's dive into this. When we picture someone earning $100,000, society hands us this incredibly comfortable expectation, right? We imagine wealth, endless options, and absolutely zero stress about things like grabbing groceries or a sudden car repair. But the reality for a lot of people in 2026 is a state of constant anxiety and these mysteriously disappearing paychecks. To understand why, we really need to look at the hard, mathematical reality of modern living expenses.
Section 1. The gross to net reality. We got to start where pretty much everyone forgets to start, by peeling back the layers of that $100,000 salary and stripping away the shiny illusion of your offer letter. Because let's be real, that money does not entirely hit your bank account. Once you deduct federal and state income taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and your health insurance premiums, your actual slice of the pie shrinks way down. The real number you take home is somewhere between $68,000 and $72,000. So for our math today, let's keep it clean and call it an even $70,000.
And that $70,000 translates to exactly $5,833 per month. This right here is your true starting line, before a single bill even hits your desk. Keep this number in your head because we are about to watch it disappear incredibly fast. Housing always comes first. Standard advice says to spend no more than 30% of your gross income. But if you rent a decent one-bedroom or pay a mortgage in major cities like Austin, Denver, or Seattle, housing easily consumes nearly half your take-home pay. Let's be generous and say you have a solid setup at $2,200 a month. Subtract that and boom, your balance plummets to $3,633. Next up is your car. Because in most American cities, a car isn't really an option, it's required infrastructure. We're going to aggressively slash another $1,215 right off the top. Why? Well, because the average new car payment is currently sitting at $735. Add in $180 for insurance, $200 for gas, and $100 for routine maintenance. Suddenly, just having the privilege of driving to your job leaves you at $2,418.
Let's keep this rapid countdown going through the bare, unluxurious infrastructure of normal adult life. We deduct a moderate $400 for groceries, and that's cooking at home, nothing fancy. We take out a conservative $350 for utilities like electricity, water, and internet. Then we subtract another $400, which is the average monthly student loan payment for someone with a bachelor's degree.
And look at where we are now, $1,268. I want to state directly that after covering strictly your basic survival costs, you are left with just over $1,200. Keep in mind this budget includes absolutely zero dining out, zero vacations, zero new clothing, no gym memberships, and no streaming services. You have $1,268 left over for literally everything else in your life, the whole shebang. Now, what's really interesting about this is where the salary lie truly reveals itself. Standard financial advice demands that 20% of your take-home pay goes straight to savings, emergency funds, and investments beyond your 401k. Well, 20% of your $70,000 take-home is $1,166 per month. Notice how that almost perfectly matches the cash you have left? Your leftover cash is basically entirely spoken for by responsible saving.
Which brings us to a very harsh mathematical truth. If you subtract that responsible savings amount from your remaining cash, a person earning $100,000 a year is left with a mere $100 a month. $100 for every social expense, every unexpected medical copay, birthday gifts, and, the actual enjoyment of being alive.
I want to just pause here for a second and let this powerful quote from our source material really sink in. That's not wealth building, that's surviving with better furniture. If you've been feeling frustrated by your disappearing paycheck, despite having a great salary, this is exactly why. The math completely, 100% validates your experience.
Section 2. The psychological trap.
So we've seen the stark mathematical breakdown, but now we really need to understand the behavioral economics behind why this specific level of financial anxiety happens when you hit six figures. The psychological trap is built entirely on surface-level success.
Think about it. You make six figures, you drive a decent car, you live in a nice enough apartment, your friends and your parents just assume you have money. But having these surface-level markers of financial success without a solid foundation underneath them, that just creates a vague, constant financial anxiety. Instead of aggressively addressing the problem and saving, you're left with this really expensive confusion.
So, the crucial point is understanding the invisible villain in all of this, lifestyle inflation. It is the single most effective wealth destroyer. It operates silently as your income and your expenses rise together in perfect lockstep. This is exactly what keeps people financially stuck at $150,000, just like they were at $80,000.
Let's walk through how this vicious cycle actually plays out in practice. Step 1. You get a $20,000 raise. Awesome, that feels like a lot of money. Step 2. Because you can now technically afford it, you upgrade your apartment. Step 3. Your old car kind of feels like it belongs to a different version of you, so you upgrade that too, and maybe your wardrobe, because your new salary demands a new aesthetic. Step 4. By the time you adjust, every single dollar of that raise is completely absorbed. Your savings rate hasn't moved an inch. You just hit reset on a higher difficulty level.
I really have to warn you about the hidden danger here. These lifestyle upgrades carry invisible, long-term costs that compound against you. A nicer apartment locks you into higher rent for years. A newer car means a longer loan and higher insurance premiums. Soon, this upgraded baseline no longer feels like a reward. It's just your very demanding new normal. And now, you need yet another raise just to maintain it.
Section 3. The no man's land.
And this brilliantly illustrates why hitting that $100,000 mark is uniquely perilous compared to lower income levels. Because at $50,000, your situation is clear. You know you're struggling, and your financial situation perfectly matches your emotional experience of it. You are highly motivated to change things. But at $100,000, you are firmly in a no man's land. You aren't struggling quite enough to feel a sense of panic or urgency, but you certainly aren't secure enough to actually be wealthy. It's a dangerous, numbing kind of comfort.
Ultimately, this is the perfect metaphor, the financial treadmill. You're just busy enough and paid just enough to stay exactly where you are indefinitely. The six-figure trap is a pace that is completely exhausting, yes, but it remains just comfortable enough to keep you from ever stepping off, to reconsider your choices.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question to chew on today. Are you building actual wealth, or are you just running on the treadmill? Take a hard look at your own financial baseline. It's time to look past the surface-level illusion of the six-figure salary, do the math on your own invisible long-term costs, and decide if you're truly building a foundation, or if you are simply surviving with better furniture. Thanks for watching.